Moving on now, in an attempt to shed colonial legacies, the Indian Navy has ended the practice of carrying batons by all its personnel with immediate effect. The Indian Navy stated that with the passage of time, carrying batons by naval personnel has become a norm. The symbolism of authority or power portrayed through the holding of a baton is a colonial legacy, and that is out of place in a transformed Navy of Amrit Kaal. This is a statement that has come to the fore from the Indian Navy. Navy also going on to instruct that a ceremonial baton be placed appropriately in the office of the head of the organization in every unit, not completely doing away with the practice as such. A symbolic move or decision where being taken by the Indian Navy that the ceremonial baton will still be placed in the office of every unit, but the passing on will not take place. Akash, my colleague, getting us more details. Yes, Akash.
So, Poonam, this is one order that we have accessed here on CNN News 18, and this order is somewhere talking about the batons that the senior officers of Indian Navy generally carry. We see that, commanding officers or the officers of the higher rank generally carry these batons, and these were the, this was a part of, in fact, the uniform. But now the directions, and this direction is in fact in line with government's approach to shed the colonial legacy, where Indian Navy will now be ending this particular practice where the senior officers generally carry these batons. And we have accessed the order where it has been said, and I quote, "With the passage of time, carrying of batons by Navy personnel has become a norm. The symbolism of authority of power portrayed through the holding of a baton is a colonial legacy that is out of place in a transformed Navy of Amrit Kaal." So this order is clearly saying that the culture will now be ending, and in fact, this particular baton will now be, finding its place in the higher offices and a particular place where it will be denoting the past of Indian Navy. But yes, definitely the officers who used to carry these particular batons as a part of their uniform will now not be carrying these batons.
Now, several steps in the past, in the recent past, in fact, Akash, have been taken for the modernization of our forces to ensure that we do keep our history in mind, but not really carry forward the colonial legacy. We try and make this our own and usher in the new look, the new version of our forces, and this just is one of those moves.
Exactly, and in fact, I remember the Nishan, the new ensign of Indian Navy that is inspired by the seal of Chhatrapati Shivaji. We know that how it was unveiled by Prime Minister Narendra Modi just few months back. And, in the past as well, we have seen a number of practices and in fact, the number of, approaches that Indian Navy used to opt. However, at a time when Indian Navy is actually, moving towards modernization, towards Atmanirbharta, these are some essential steps that are undertaken by Indian Navy, and not just Indian Navy, but by other forces as well. Indian Army, Indian Air Force. We have seen a number of inductions in the past while talking about the Atmanirbharta, and while talking about the modernization. In fact, Poonam, an important step, be it Indian Air Force Day or Indian Army Day, we used to see that how the particular event used to be celebrated in the boundaries of the national capital in NCR. But now, in fact, these events have been moved from the boundaries of national capital to different places. Last time we saw that how in Chandigarh, Indian Air Force Day was celebrated. This time also, we have, this particular day to be celebrated in Prayagraj. Similarly, with Indian Army Day, this particular approach has been opted. And with Indian Navy as well, we have a sort of modernization drive going on in all the forces. And also, we are, working hard to just shed our colonial legacy.
Right, Akash, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that and putting that in perspective for us.